Hey everybody, welcome to the Ongaku Concept Podcast, the show that I have not done for over a year and I probably won't do for a while.
We're back again,
Joshua.
boys.
My name is Joshua, and this is...
Oh, you want me to do... Okay.
I think this happened when I introduced Annie.
Did it happen? I don't know.
I don't remember.
History repeats itself. All right.
It's your boy!
It's your boy, Carlos Ortiz. Suspicious Latino male coming at you. That's a great start. I'm tired tonight. Oh boy.
Hey everybody, this is Charles Ritz. He is super amazing, and he plays the piano and saxophone, and he does cool jazz covers and stuff, and he's a good music theory person.
I'm bad.
In the Michael Jackson sense. So
it's late, so I can't do that full out.
He also sings. I'm going to tell you more about that later. But I decided I wanted to bring out the podcast. I want to bring the podcast.
Bring out the boys.
On a silver platter.
Bring them out.
I want to bring back the podcast and talk about stuff because that's always fun. I guess I'll just... I cannot speak. I'll just go ahead and explain this now. Charles and I are working on a couple collaborations. We have a cover.
I'm ruining his videos for a long time. I'm sorry, everybody.
We have a cover of Go Exceed, the opening theme to the anime Ace of Diamond, coming up this Tuesday on my channel, and we have a cover of Crush 40's Live Life coming up really soon on his channel.
By the end of the month.
Yes, and he's singing and I'm doing instruments, and it's
you can record
really cool.
your video, right?
Yes.
Good.
So I thought it would be cool to talk about collaboration in general, and just how, because I know a lot of YouTubers and YouTube musicians who are new to this want to start doing collabs because it's fun to meet people and who do the same kind of stuff you do. And just work together with people. And there's a lot of benefits to collabs, and it's not really always clear how to go about doing them in the first place and get involved with that kind of stuff. So we just wanted to talk about our own experiences with that and how we got into that and how you can. Charles, you want to start with, because you've definitely been doing, collabs longer than I have. Because I started doing YouTube in 2010, but, I just did it all myself. I didn't really reach out to anybody, and nobody really, for a while. And you were already doing stuff when I met you.
Was I really? I was just uploading videos for other people. I mean, I wasn't really doing anything for a while.
Yeah, but I mean, you got this whole community involved, so why don't you explain that?
With people. Okay, so back in the day, maybe around 2 years ago now, a year and a half, 2 years ago, I was working on a small project. Oh, we say small. It was we were planning to do 4 volumes and somehow stretch it out and keep enjoying it.
That wasn't 2 years ago. That was
a while.
Had to, yeah.
Yeah, a while back. We released it a year and a half ago.
Oh,
finally.
yes.
Yeah, but I was working on it for about 3 years, maybe. But it was this small project with a few friends called Sonic Sega Tenderations, and it was sort of a compilation album in the same style of Sonic Generations, which, for those of you who know that game, it takes levels from the Sonic the Hedgehog series and puts them through 2 iterations: classic 2D side-scrolling levels and modern 3D expansive worlds. And these classic themes, which are being revisited for this game, they had 2 separate remixes for each level. There was a classic and a modern. So we decided we were going to take other levels that weren't touched in Sonic Generations and do them in this style, and just take our own spins on them, what we would consider classic, what we would consider modern. So it was originally just 4 guys, but expanded over time in a sort of a community album where it's if you wanted to contribute, we could reach out to you and we could work something out. And then it all started when I was looking for a guitarist to do something. But really, I would need everything because I didn't know what I was doing at the time. Or I don't know what I'm doing now. So one of the first people I found was this, at the time, kind of small channel by the name of Joshua Taipale. That's how I said it at the time. How was I supposed to know? So for a long time, I was like, if I get this guy involved with the project, that'd be really cool. So I sent him a message, and he ignored it. And we went about our
See, okay, so here's what happened there. So like that was right around. I started my YouTube channel in early 2010, and I just recorded myself playing guitar along to songs, mostly from the Sonic series, because that's what I was obsessed with, and it had a lot of guitars and it was fun to play.
Check out Prison Lane, it's dope.
Yes, please. So around, I think it was like early mid 2013, somewhere around there. Okay, so in late 2012, I guess I'll explain how I started getting into collabs, because I started doing this stuff before I joined Sega Generations. In late 2012, I was approached by Visitor Jeff Hogg, one of the staff members of the Sonic Stadium, because he was a subscriber to my channel, and what he did was he heard a remix that I did with General Offensive of Lost Labyrinth Zone from Sonic 4. I got Offensive. He emailed me or messaged me on YouTube one time, just out of the blue, and he's like, "Hi, I am a music producer and I do stuff, and here's some examples of my work. Do you want to collab sometime?" And I thought his stuff was amazing, and I was like a YouTube noob. I was a noob-tuber. And
he was a YouTuber.
A YouTuber. And I didn't know anything about what I was doing. And I was like, hey, cool, somebody does awesome stuff and they want to work with me. Sure, I'll do it. And we did a collab, and we did a remix of Lost Labyrinth Zone. It was super fun. And Jeff Hogg heard that. He thought it was really cool, so he reached out to me and said, hey, do you want to be a part of this big Sonic remix album we're doing? And it was the Sonic Stadium Music Adventure 2012. Mm-hmm. And so I joined the Sonic Stadium.
8-hour album. Materia still got to get that in.
Yes, they do.
We'll get to that. That's a whole nother beast.
Yeah, it is. So I joined that project, and I joined the forum, and I met a whole bunch of people there. And just working in like remix album projects like that is a really great way to meet new people, because you're all working together on the same sort of thing. You're all kind of talking together in the same space, and you naturally start to kind of meet up with people when somebody's working on a song and they're like, hey, I need this because I don't have a way of doing this, and you happen to fill that need, then that's kind of how those relationships start to form, and you do a collab on a song, and then you know each other, and you can continue working on stuff. And that's what happened with me. I did stuff for people in the Sonic album, and when that came out, that was done, and I continued to have people from that group, contact me every now and then to ask if I could play on something, or I could go to them and say, hey, will you help me like program this or whatever. And but after that, I that was such a really cool project. I wanted to get involved with more stuff like that. And so around like late or mid 2013, somewhere around there, I was kind of at a turning point with my YouTube channel, because I wasn't really sure where I was going with it and what I wanted to do with it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try and like find a way to kind of get myself out there and be a part of more collabs, and so I can get my YouTube channel to be a little more popular and stuff, And then like right around then, like a few days after I had like made this decision to like try and make my work as best as I possibly could without any like mistakes in my videos or anything like that, like this recommittal to quality, I got a message from I don't know if you sent it, Charles, or did somebody else?
Okay, so I sent the first one, which you ignored. Nice. Love you. And I remember you gave a reason. I can't remember for the life of me. But
it was, I think Zero sent the other one, didn't he?
No.
No?
That was Describe who sent it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He sent. I asked him, I'm like, hey,
because he was a part of the Sonic Stadium thing.
Yeah, that's why I asked. I'm like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
you probably know him better than I do.
Yeah.
If you send this to him, and then you messaged me, and then we got into this whole conversation, and you did a demo of Pirate Storm from Sonic and the Secret Rings that I still have.
The reason I ignored that because like
he thought it was weird and dumb.
No,
he wasn't wrong.
I was worried that I wouldn't be able to like keep up with like, cause I was like, oh, there's this big project. They're like always putting out music. I'm like, yeah, I want to join one of these things, but I'm afraid of like committing to it without like being sure that I'll be able to put stuff out. And then, you know, I joined after I got that second message from somebody who I recognized, you know, and I looked at the group and there were several people from the stadium who were there, and I'm like, oh, cool, I guess I'll join this. And then, yeah, I was asked to do a remix of Pirate
Storm.
I forget the name of the Pirate Storm. Yeah,
No Way Through
from Secret Rings. And I did a demo of that, and then I never worked on it again, and I never did another track for you guys.
It's fine.
I
played on tracks.
Yeah, I played on a bunch of stuff. I don't even remember what I played on.
You did that Windy Valley battle with Kyle.
Yeah, I remember that.
Shout out to our boy, to Yorkshire Pudding, Kyle AB 5000.
Oh my gosh, I love that nickname. Yeah, so basically, I joined Sega Generations, and I met a whole bunch of, and like I joined a Skype group for that, and I met a whole bunch of new people, who, you know, again, I got in touch with them. We were all kind of working on the same sort of project together, and naturally, friendships and relationships were formed just by being in the same space and working on the same kind of stuff, and people gravitated towards each other, you know. One person needed one thing and another person needed another thing, and we fill each other's needs and whatever.
Mm-hmm. Friendships and relationships, especially relationships. Josh and I are actually engaged.
Yes, apparently.
Yeah. He's 21, I'm 15. It's great.
It is 100% legal. Mwah. In Canada. So, yeah, so, I mean, I think the point that I'm making is that, like, when I first kind of jumped into doing collabs and like working with other people, it was being a part of, it wasn't necessarily reaching out directly to people. It was being a part of projects where everybody had a common goal. Mm-hmm. And because of that, it made it a lot easier for one person to directly approach somebody else, because we were all working towards the same goal, and it's just natural to help somebody else out with their needs. Mm-hmm. Charles, do you want to talk any more about Sega Generations, or do you want to talk more about kind of what happened after that? I guess we're just going through our life stories of collaboration here.
This is the story all about how I became a video game. Nothing really else to say about Sega Generations. Just that was a really nice learning experience of how to handle other collabs.
Yeah.
Of thinking about, like, you know, biting off more than you can chew, and I can openly admit that now I've kind of done that again, but, you know.
Yeah, I do that. I do that all the time.
Yeah, that's just.
I do want to say, like, Charles made a really good point there. Like, when you approach somebody to do a collab and they say no, it's not, like, don't take it personally, because it's not, most people don't reject collab offers just because, like, the other person doesn't, you know, strike a chord with them. It's usually, I think probably the biggest reason why a person would reject a collab is if they've bitten off more than they can chew already and they cannot handle doing anything else. Like, I'm a yes man. I say yes to literally everything everybody asks me to do.
Yee.
And then I can't do any of it. Mm-hmm. So, lately I've started, like, rejecting collabs, and I feel really bad about doing that, but I mean, it's necessary, because if you bite off more than you can chew, then you make the people that you already promised you would do something for unhappy.
Yep.
And, you know, that just, it's not good.
I say this as someone who has to deal with school, so that's, like, a huge chunk of my time that I could be spending working on projects, but instead I'm learning about the law of sines and cosines, and it's great.
Yeah. So, I guess we can talk about like how to approach people for collabs. If you like, so I mean, there's getting involved with projects like remix album projects, and to do that, I mean, look around YouTube and forums. OC Remix is a good place to look because people are always starting projects there. I honestly can't think of any other sites off the top of my head that. I mean, what about the subreddit?
VGCovers.
Yeah.
Shout out to my boy, my main Indian, Ro Pandaganti.
Yes,
Swiggles RP. He's great.
Yeah, he started a subreddit for video game covers. It's just r/VGCovers, and people post their covers there, and there's discussions, and like there's a kind of a sort of official like group for the subreddit called Pixel Mixers, and they do all sorts of like mini albums, and it's really cool. So if you want like an easy way to go ahead and get started doing that sort of thing, go check out that subreddit, because you'll get a lot of help there. It's a really nice place in general. Everybody's really friendly and helpful, and it's really cool. But as far as like approaching people directly, Charles, why don't you start talking? I have said way too much.
Yeah.
I don't want to monopolize the.
Talk less, smile more. There we go. We got the Hamilton reference. We're good. We can go home. Bye.
We're done.
Yeah.
That's all we came here for.
Yeah. Drop the mic.
I just put my hand over it.
Yeah.
Wait, I know I didn't. Go ahead.
Now, what was I saying? Oh, jeez. All right, approach your people directly.
Yes.
Don't be shy about it. Often,
but don't not be shy. Don't be too not shy.
I hate you. I'm getting a divorce now. Even though I think we said we were engaged. Don't be shy, especially like if you're in like the video game community. Let's just say, apply for anything. Usually, people are gonna be, like in my experiences with the VGM community, everyone's really supportive of new people. They're always offering advice. They're never harsh or cruel with what they say or what they do, at least in my experience.
Yes, I would agree.
Don't be shy, but just don't be overbearing. Don't, like annoy people with constant requests to, like, let's say if you message someone once, ask if they want to collab, they don't respond for a little bit. You message them again. Chances are if they don't answer you the first time, they may be a little bit too busy. It's not, that isn't the right time.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with asking somebody again in case they didn't see your original message.
Yeah.
But like, give it some space.
Yeah.
Give it like maybe a week or something or two.
Yeah.
To give them time, because I get messages sometimes, and like just this past week, just tonight, I answered a bunch of emails that like I've waited a week to answer because I just didn't have time to sit down and like compose a proper response.
Yeah, I've had that before too, where I need to like think about, okay, how can I answer this the way I want to?
Yeah, it's not like I didn't have time to respond. I just didn't have the time to respond in the way that I wanted to. That would give them like, that would like respect their message and like give them the information they needed in a helpful way.
Yeah, I could just type letter K, sure, send from my iPhone.
Yeah,
but then what does that say about you, and what does that say about what the other person's message means to you?
Yeah. So if you are on the other side of that, though, if you are approached by somebody who like wants to collab, but you just don't have the time or whatever,
know how to say no.
Yeah.
Show
know
me
how to say
no to this. I want to say no to this. That's number 2.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Like, I'm kind of learning how to say no to stuff because I just don't have the time to get involved with everything that I want to. And sometimes, like, I'm asked to do stuff, and I'm like, I don't really have the ability to do this. And, like, you got to think about why you're taking on a project. I mean, because sometimes I'll consider taking on a project because I want to, like, not prove myself, but, like, it's more shallow than that, I guess. More like I feel the need to, like, impress people because I'm insecure about, like, my abilities. And I think most creators can say that they are. They have that to some extent. Feel the need to, like, do everything to, like, prove that, like, they're good at what they do or something. And if you don't have the ability, if you're not confident enough in your ability to do something, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be. Okay, I don't want people to take this the wrong way. You should be confident in, like, what you do, and a lack of confidence is going to, drain you, and it's going to make it difficult for you to accomplish what you're trying to do. And you should always push yourself to do better and to take on challenges. However, if you are reasonably sure that you can't do something and make the other person happy with it, then maybe it's best to not waste either of your time and, pass on something until you're better at it. Like, okay, here's an example. I got approached I'm sorry for, like, hijacking your conversation.
You're good,
Charles.
You're good. It's your channel.
I got approached by some game developer in, like, 2012.
I never heard about this.
He was like, me and some friends are making an RPG. It's gonna be like a mobile RPG, and we want music in the style of Motoi Sakuraba, and you seem to do stuff like that, so we were wondering if you wanted to do music for it. And I'm like, okay, and this was, like, after I posted, like, the third song I ever wrote to YouTube. And I'm like, guys, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna pass on this. And I'm glad that I did, because I wasn't gonna know what I was doing. And it would have just wasted both of our, time. Neither of us would have been happy with it. Yeah, I don't know. I guess,
like, I would say know your limits, but feel free to push them further.
Yes. That's a TLDR version.
Yeah. Like, before a few months,
too long didn't listen.
Total. Until a few months ago, I never organized, like, a full jazz fusion score for something.
That was insane.
That in the rain, featuring. Shout out to my boy Carlos.
My boy.
I had never done anything like that before. I didn't think I could do anything like that, but then I did it, and it's probably in the top 3 proudest things. I'm more proud of that than most of the covers I've ever done.
It's really amazing.
Shout out to your guitar solo. Getting, like, 3 tries before I got the placement right.
Yeah. Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
You want to talk about materia?
Sure.
I mean, I guess we already kind of talked about. We already talked about this. There's really no reason to go in depth with it, but.
Well, I mean, like brief overview.
Yeah.
Josh and I are both a part of 2 VGM record labels. The Materia Collective and Game Lark.
That sounds pretentious, but we're just a bunch of nerds doing stuff.
Yeah. Like, it's honestly just cool for me to tell people in school, oh, I'm a part of record labels.
Yes,
that's a part of it. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't.
Yeah.
But, just nerd music. And I took on those opportunities because I saw that there was something for me in them. Or at least I felt there was. Aside from, financial compensation, which I've never gotten before for my work. I've never, up until last year, I've only ever taken on nonprofit projects. And I can afford to do that, and I still can afford to do that because I'm in school. So I don't necessarily, need a lot of financial compensation as of now, but somewhere down the line, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's good to get your name out there so you can get even bigger opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And I made connections and friends through these 2 record labels that have meant the world to me. Like, and I say this as someone who I'm gonna be that guy, someone who went to MagFest and hung out with a lot of these people for the first time, and it was, I hate talking about it. I feel bad.
Why is that?
'Cause with you.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. Well, Tildal version, MagFest was like a good opportunity in that regard too. Like, you want to do, it's like, you want to make connections, you want to make networks, but make friends.
Yes.
Make people you could just talk to. Like, before maybe 2 years ago, before I remixed a song, remixed the Ongaku concept ending song.
I remember that. Have I used it yet?
I don't think you have.
I know I used your Rickroll one at least.
Yeah, I used the Rickroll one.
That was fun.
Full version incoming, boys. It'll be good. But until then, we were just a network connection. We never really talked too much. Like, he gave me little theory things here and there, but we had never, really talked. Then I remixed his song, and now we talk every single day.
Was it really then we started talking more?
It was around then, because that was the first time.
I was thinking about it earlier today.
That was the first time I'd messaged you on Twitter.
I was thinking about it earlier today, and I was like, I don't remember when we started, like, when we got close.
It was right around then.
I guess it was.
And pretty soon after, you made, the group with, Neo Power Flare.
Yeah.
That group.
Yeah, so I think networking kind of has a
business
sort of
connotation.
Yes, it does. That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah. A very businessy like connotation, like you're meeting people with the intention of. It sounds bad to say that you're meeting them with the intention of using them for like to promote yourself, or but that's essentially what I think a lot of people think of when they think of networking. You're meeting people in order to further your own, place in whatever it is that you do. In this case, video game music or something. And but the important thing with networking is that it's all about making friendships and relationships. Like, don't go in. So when you contact somebody, when you want to meet someone in the VGM community with the intent of working with them, it's perfectly fine, perfectly normal to do so with the intent of, like, I want to work with this person so that I can get some more exposure and, this person who has more subscribers than I do would drive traffic to my channel. That's fine, but you need to...
that's only half the picture.
Yeah, that's only half the picture. Like, you gotta put...
Think about the long term.
Yes, like...
Well, what else you could do with that?
You gotta, like, think about the other person's needs and, like, what they're doing, too. And, like, be supportive of their work. And, yeah, I mean, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like,
definitely. Like, stay involved.
Yeah.
If you really want to make a connection.
Yeah, and that's
be one time and you're done.
Yeah, and so I think if you're that guy who goes and says, like, who just goes out and messages somebody out of the blue and says, hey, you want to collab sometime? I think most of the time people are going to reject those sorts of questions. And the reason is, aside from, like, not having the time, I think the biggest reason why those sorts of questions get rejected is because people, like, they don't know you. Like, who's this random person who's asking me to collab? Like, at the very least, you got to introduce yourself and, like, link to your stuff and say, hey, I really like your stuff. I think you would be a good fit for what I do, or I would be a good fit for what you do, vice versa. And do you want to, like, give it a little bit of lead in, you know? Yeah. You got to introduce yourself at the very least. It's really best to, like, what I do is, like, if I want to get to know somebody and, like, start working with them, is I will, like, follow them on Twitter or, like, start commenting on their YouTube videos or just tweeting to them every now and then. And just over time, they kind of get used to seeing, like, feedback from me, especially if they respond and we, like, engage in conversation of some kind.
Yeah.
Then over time, we kind of get to know each other. And, you know, just, that's really how I've made most of my friendships, you know? Like, I interact with somebody who I know, and somebody else that they're friends with joins the conversation, and then I interact with them, I follow them, and, you know, just start interacting with a person that you want to collab with, and then maybe a few weeks in, you can, I'm making this sound like one of those, like, I've got an 8-month plan. Get family jewels X7 to be my waifu.
X7.
7X. I always forget which. Yeah, I mean, but it just kind of, like, at least introduce yourself before you go on and say, hey, you want to collab?
Yeah.
Collab? Like, I just send out a message that just says collab, question mark.
Just CLAB.
Yeah. So the important thing is, like, making connections with people, because the people that you know, other YouTubers want to collab with are people that they know, and people that, like, it's one thing to work with a, you know, I say famous with air quotes, person, because...
D-list internet celebrity?
What?
D-list internet celebrity?
Yeah. Because, like, if a couple people are, like... So, my theory, the reason why, again, air quotes, famous YouTubers tend to work with each other is because they see each other's work so much. Like, both of them see each other's work so often because they're both, like, higher up. And so they kind of don't really need so much of an introduction. They already kind of know each other and their stuff, and the ice is broken much easier than if you're, like, a person with, like, 200 subs and trying to contact somebody with 200,000 or something, you know? Mm-hmm. Just simply because there's a far less likely chance that they are going to know who you are. So, again, it's all about establishing a connection of some kind before you go into collaborations. I'm not saying, like, cold calling doesn't work, but, I mean, it's not a good idea. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's how we met, and I was, you know, a YouTube noob, and I was taking on any projects that I could get.
Yeah.
And so that's why you're going to find more success with people with much, much smaller channels, is because they're accepting pretty much anything they can get.
Yeah. That's how I was. And that's, to some kind of extent, that's how I still am. But only now
still,
am I becoming
same.
a little bit more, you know, like, picky and choosy about what I go and do.
Yeah.
Only because I don't have the time. I have theater. I have school. I have college auditions that are going to be coming up soon.
That's cool.
Yeah, this is going to be time consuming, so I need to, like, get better at what I'm doing, cuz I still don't say I'm that good. So I need to, like, really up my game.
Yeah.
If I want to get into Berkeley, like, on scholarship or something, like, I need time, and with a lot of collabs and a lot of projects, that isn't going to happen. Mm-hmm. So come next year, especially, I'm going to be a lot more discerning. So
if you're looking to get into collabs, but it's just not working out for you right now, what I would say is start establishing connections. Just start commenting on people's videos and start, like, you know, follow them on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, and just interact with them. And they'll get to know you, or at least recognize your name, and it'll be a lot easier for you to introduce yourself later. And in the meantime, just keep producing content, because if you ask somebody to collab and they're like, okay, I'll check out your stuff, and then they go to your YouTube channel and you have like 3 videos and you haven't uploaded anything in like a year, I mean,
you just have 3 cat videos.
yeah, I mean, that's really going to discourage people from like, oh, I don't know what you do.
No offense to cat videos. They're fine.
Yeah. Unless you collab with cat videos and like you just, hey, why don't your cats get with my cats and we just have a cat party? I guess Rakib needs to do that.
Yeah.
So I think in the meantime, if you're not doing collabs, just keep producing content. And, you should be doing that anyway. If you want to get, like, really good at what you're doing, you just got to do it and do it and do it and do it and do it. And that's part of why I started doing, I finally gave myself a schedule. Schedules are a good way to do that.
Yes.
On my main YouTube channel, I do guitar covers and stuff like that.
YouTube.com/Joshua Taipale.
And I've never had a schedule on that channel. But lately, my videos have gone up in quality, which is awesome, but it means that they take much longer to produce. So it's a little bit harder to do stuff in a timely fashion. But I just figured, you know what, I can probably do a video maybe once every 2 weeks. And I wanted to push myself to produce more content faster, because I want to get better at that. So I gave myself a schedule, and it's working out really nicely so far. And it's keeping my channel active, and that looks good for people who I want to collab with.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think that's pretty much all I have to say, at least.
Me too. I think we've gone over everything I could think of.
So, check out this boy's channel.
Oh,
there'll be a description. Description.
Turn back. You're making a mistake.
There'll be a description in the link. And
Same.
check his channel and my channel, because we are doing collabs
on each
really
other's
soon.
Channels.
Yes.
Cross-channel promotion, boys.
Yes.
Get it.
My boys. The collab that me and him are doing on my channel, it comes out this Tuesday if you're watching on the day this uploads. It's just in a few days, and I'm really excited about that. And check out his channel, because really soon he's got some cool stuff coming up too.
It'd just be nice if New York didn't decide to rain so I can go shoot your video.
Yeah.
I need to get to the baseball field, because the fight is a moment to hit each other.
Yes, it is.
I can't hit each other if it rains.
Yeah. How are you gonna do that?
I won't.
So thank you guys for listening. Hey, I'm gonna do what they do on the InnerTube show. If you listened all the way to here, tweet us. My at name is @Joshua Taipale. What's yours, Charles?
Charles R. Music.
And tweet us just the hashtag, or you can tweet Ongaku Concept @Ongaku Concept. What should we call this hashtag? Hashtag potato collab.
No, hashtag Skype sucks collab.
Hashtag potato collab. Hashtag Skype sucks. Let's just do that.
Yeah.
So just tweet us one of those if you've listened all the way to the end of this, and we'll know.
Or both of them. Porque no los
both
dos.
of them. Cheering! I don't. Thanks again for listening. Next week, I don't know. It'll probably be a normal video of some kind. We'll do this podcast again sometime, I'm sure.
Next week I won't ruin it. And I'm Charles Ritz.
And I'll see you guys sometime. Later.
Bye-bye.